This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Young Jarek would love to take my order.
Hi.
He works at the coffee shop just up the street.
Morning.
He's happy and annoying with a smirk the size of Texas. He's my coffee enemy.
Would you like a mochaccino? Or perhaps a cappuccino? Or maybe a frappuccino?
Said Jarek wearing the chinos. All I really want is a cup of coffee. So strong the spoon stands up, just a cup of coffee. All I really want is a cup of coffee. Give me a friggin' cup of coffee, Jarek.
Hello, is this Shane?
Yeah, who is this?
Stay away from Crystal.
Who is this? Who the fuck is calling me? I want to know who this is calling me.
Do you know Mariah?
Yes, I do. That's my
and
wife.
Do you know Crystal?
Yes, I do know a Crystal. How can
Why
I?
are you cheating? You're cheating on Mariah with Crystal. We have proof.
That's a negative, buddy. I don't know who the fuck this is. I'm going to tell you.
We have proof. We're going to tell Mariah what's going on.
If you want to run
Derek
your
and
mouth,
John with 106.2 War of the Roses. We've just tricked you. Would you like tickets to Miley Cyrus?
yeah, what the fuck? Why do you people call bullshit running your fucking mouths? What kind of shit are you trying to pull?
From 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays, 106.3 The Rain. Thank you. Hi, hello, Coffee Nation, and welcome to episode 15 of the Coffee with Friends podcast. I'm your host, Carl Coffee. With me once again is my sidekick, Tim Anderson. How are you, Tim?
I'm well. How are you, Carl?
Tim is not at the CoffeeTimeUSA.xxx studio. He is back in Michigan. How is it up there?
It is cold in Prison City, Carl.
Also
in Prison City.
In Michigan is our guest, Kraig with a K, McAllister. How are you, Kraig?
Hey, I'm doing good. It is Thursday, essentially Friday Junior. My phone is on 69% battery. I am ready to get rolling with you, gentlemen.
Kraig McAllister, shout out to David Castle for recommending him. I wanted a New England Patriots fan, and I got one from my great home state. Nothing could be better. You have a very deep Michigan accent. Can you hear that, Tim?
I can.
Yeah.
It's unmistakable.
So this will probably be the last time we announce it. We're on Spotify, and
Woo!
you know, you have so many ways to listen, Tim. If you're a Spotify guy, check it out. We're a member of the Overtime Sports Network and the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. You can check out otsportsnetwork.com or Twitter at _TSN. And you can check out the Detroit Sports Podcast Network at DetroitSportsPodcast.com or Twitter at Detroit Podcast. We have 3 guys on this podcast, all from Michigan. It should be fun. And if you didn't listen last week, Tim, my formula did what? How did we do?
We went 4 for 4, Carl.
Yeah, 4 for 4. You know, we didn't break down defensive schemes or offensive schemes. You know, we broke down things that didn't matter. But actually, I guess it did. Impressive, right?
I thought it was.
So this podcast broken up into 4 segments. We got a Song of the Week, Stump the Expert, which would be 07 Patriots, 8-1, Top Sports Weekends. And then our main segment's called Why Do You Hate the New England Patriots? Because I feel like no matter what, everyone seems to hate the Patriots, and they shouldn't. So we have a Patriots guy. I'm going to ask him 8 hard-hitting questions. It might make him sweat. I think he's prepared. He's going to tell everyone why you shouldn't hate the Patriots. Tim, do you hate the Patriots?
I do, Carl.
Okay. So the song of the week is Cranberries Linger. And Kraig, how old are you? Like 24, 23?
I am 24 years old.
So you've probably never heard of the Cranberries, correct?
Just a couple times, just here or there. I could say they have wonderful singing voices.
Do you have an old soul?
Something like that, man. Something like that.
Cranberries Linger. It makes me think of a movie from the mid-'90s, the Babysitting Girls Club. What's it called?
Is that the one where they babysit kids?
Yeah, for some reason.
And they're in their club?
For some reason, my mom rented that from Blockbuster Video for me and my brother. And I was cool with it because if you remember Alex Mack, remember her?
Oh, I do. Oh, yeah.
Was that her name or was it Alex Mack?
Alex Mack.
Alex Mack, the actress that played her. Every 11, 12-year-old's crush was in that movie.
She was so dreamy.
So even though my mom was clueless on renting videos for us, I was very happy. And at the end scenes or sometime in the movie, they played Cranberries Linger, and it has stuck with me 20-some years later. Now let's get into it. This is a Patriots-heavy episode because the Patriots are once again in the AFC Championship, 8 straight years. They're a dynasty in the NFL, which should be dynasty-proof. So I talked to Kraig about Stump the Expert, and I brought up the 07 Patriots. He's like, bring it on. Try to stump me. And Tim, I have been failing lately on Stump the Expert. Either people have Wikipedia open and they're just ready, or maybe I'm asking soft questions. But Kraig, are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's get it on.
All right, Randy Moss. Where would you rank him all time for receivers?
Randy Moss overall, I'd probably number 2 on my list. Again, Jerry Rice was just so unbelievably undeniable.
Like, what if Calvin Johnson played on a team, a decent quarterback, decent coaching? You think he would have a chance to be top 2 or 3?
Without a doubt. I mean, the things that guy did week in and week out, setting the single season receiving record was just unheard of at the time. But I think, you put him on a more competent team. I think, he sticks around and plays a lot longer, that's for sure. And I think he gets up there in the record books a little bit more.
But Randy Moss, number 2, I think I have him there too. You can't replace Rice. But Randy Moss, 2007, how many receiving touchdowns did he have in the regular season?
23. He caught the 23rd on a 50-yard bomb from Tom Brady in the second half.
Another softball, Tim. Failure.
Man, you're easier than somebody's sister. Woo.
Next week we're going to go impossible. I'm going to, ask for...
You mean like the 1992 MLB draft questions?
Yeah, and I'll ask for, the number 1 overall pick's dad's middle name, something like that. All right, Kraig, good job. So we got Kraig with a K. He's on here. He's a Patriots guy. And before we go into the main topic, which is why do you hate the New England Patriots, we kind of talked about it last weekend, Tim. Last week when we, went 4-0 with our picks, we talked about sports weekends because I said the divisional round is up there, top 3. But then it had me thinking, what are the best sports weekends, Kraig? Where would it rank overall? And I broke down 8 top weekends, and no joke, 6 of them have to do with the NFL. NFL is king. Kraig, you agree?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
So what's number 2? NBA? MLB?
I would have to say number 2 for sports overall.
Yeah.
I like hockey. Hockey's my second.
Hockey, yeah. So I couldn't really do something with MLB because often, the opening day could be a weekday, you know what I mean? So we're just doing weekends.
Absolutely.
But I've been a little lenient, I'll add a Thursday, a Friday, even a Monday. So we're going to go through the first round, Kraig. And I know you're a new listener, but I'm going to let you know what happens here. Me and Tim can veto one thing, but we can't veto the championship. Got it?
Absolutely.
This is a big-time first matchup. I don't know. You might hate golf, but it's the Masters. But they're going up against Super Bowl. It's one day, it's one game. But it's Super Bowl Sunday, man. Super Bowl Sunday versus the Masters, which is 4 days. What do you got and why?
Honestly, that is a tough one because I think it's a matter of quality versus quantity there.
See, this is a good... I'm sorry to interrupt. What a guest. That is the perfect response, right, Tim?
I have to agree, Carl.
All right, sorry to interrupt. Go on, Kraig.
Oh, no, absolutely. The Super Bowl, the payoff, man, you wait all week, or the full 2 weeks, because the bye week in between, and let's be honest, nobody gives a damn about the Pro Bowl anymore.
Right.
But only get those 4 hours, but those 4 hours are just generally so wonderful, and the Masters, you get 4 full days of great action, and, just up and downs for each player. You hang up by a thread each day, but I got to go, unfortunately, with this one. I got to go with the quality to start. The Super Bowl is just one of my favorite days of the year.
No, I got you. I'm not vetoing. And if I would have said this, if I said a Tiger Woods winning Masters, would you have a different answer?
Oh,
yeah.
So
yeah,
are we talking like Tiger Woods is trying to putt from 25 feet out with it on the line, that kind of winner? He's already got it.
See, yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't have even said that because now we're talking scenarios. I won't forget I even said that. You picked Super Bowl. You can't veto this, right, Tim?
Yeah, if he would have said the Masters, I would have said he was racist.
No, but listen,
It's time to change the name, guys.
When Tiger Woods is in contention, and come on,
absolutely.
that's one of the best Sundays ever, and we saw a lot of that last year in majors. But Super Bowl moves on. Hey, good job, but that's the 1 seed. Oops, said that. Here we go. Number 2, the Wild Card Weekend / NCAA Football Championship. So I talked about this with some of my buddies on a Facebook chat, and they said, you know what, Carl? The Wild Card Weekend is great because you should also include the NCAA Football National Championship because that's the Monday after Wild Card Weekend. And I said, okay, let's do it. They're going to face off against the divisional round. What do you got, Kraig with a K?
Again, this is a tough one. So you get the Wild Card Weekend and the NCAA Championship. So you get 5 games, the 4 in the divisional round. The divisional round is usually the nitty-gritty of it, though, when you're coming down to who really belongs to be there. But I don't know. I'm going to give the nod here to the Wild Card Weekend because anytime I think about it, I always go back to Marshawn Lynch absolutely dominating the Seattle Seahawks and grabbing his junk, diving into the end zone to pretty much seal the deal, and that was one of the greatest weekends ever. Pair that with the good NCAA championship games, and they get my nod.
Yeah, and you know what? Even though it's pretty much as Bama and Clemson, it's still the championship. I'm not a college guy. Maybe one day we'll see a Big Ten team return, but I think he made the right choice. No veto here, Tim.
Carl, I'm gonna go with him, but I will say that the NCAA championship, they've turned out to blowouts that remind me of Lisa Ann. Go ahead and Google that, Carl. Go ahead and Google that.
Sometimes Tim has some really bad takes. The guest last week was the first guest we ever had who actually likes Tim. I don't know how Kraig feels. I think deep down Kraig hates you. I might be wrong.
We're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting to that feeling of contempt and dislike, but slowly but surely. All
right, so this is a matchup near and dear to Tim and near and dear to all of us because this upcoming weekend is championship weekend, the conference championships. Kraig, it's 2 Super Bowls in one day. Chiefs Patriots at Kansas City, their first ever time hosting the AFC Championship. Then we got the Saints. Come on, New Orleans versus the Rams. Dude, it's 2 Super Bowls in one day. This might be my number 2 weekend. There, I said it. Versus Tim's favorite weekend, the NFL draft, because he's a loser. He likes the Browns and Lions. It's the only time where they're looked at with any sort of respect. So what do you got?
It's called hope, Carl. It's called hope.
Did I paint a good picture there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I show any bias whatsoever? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That was completely, wide open to the table.
All right. What do you got, buddy?
Again, like he said, it's a matter of the draft is fun. It instills hope, all that, but I gotta go with the conference championships because there's just so much on the line. Teams just fighting it out as hard as they can just for even the opportunity to take place in Super Bowl Sunday. So got to give the conference games.
Thank you. And listen, you're probably, do you like the Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings?
Yes, I do.
Okay, with those sports, do you care about, when it goes down to 4 teams, do you care about, the Eastern, Western Conference Finals if your team's not in it?
No.
Yeah,
no,
but granted, you're a Patriots fan, so you don't know what it's like not to have your team in it. But as a Lions fan, dude, I'm glued to the TV for the conference championships. But for the other sports, maybe a little bit of baseball, but not so much the other ones. So good choice. Tim, you're probably going to veto, right?
No, with it.
I
understand this.
Oh, you're going to let it go?
Yeah. Okay. I care more about the last one.
All right, Tim. One more first-round matchup, and then we're going to go to the main topic. My favorite weekend, the NCAA basketball opening weekend, Thursday through Sunday, 48 games versus NFL Week 1. Talking to some of my buddies on a Facebook chat, kind of just breaking down which weekend should make it. And one of them said opening weekend of NFL is his favorite weekend. And I get it. You wait all year for for those, 16 weeks plus the playoffs. So, what do you got, Kraig?
Honestly, both of these. This is probably the toughest one you've asked so far because I'm a big sports betting guy with fantasy and such. So both of them hinged week one of the NFL. I got a lot riding on the line, set the tone for fantasy football. But I also fill out my brackets and have fun with the tourney. I got to go with the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament, though. Those 4 days, there's just so many great games, so many great moments, so much good stuff going on.
Boom. Tim, disagree?
No. NCAA tournament all the way. It's always nice to see a Crichton take out a Kansas.
All right, so Kraig knocked out the first round of 8-1. I have 8 hard-hitting questions about the Patriots. We'll do the first 4 and then go back to 8-1. So this podcast is called Why Do You Hate the New England Patriots? I'm just going to ask our Patriots expert. He's a Patriots lifer. And, I had to interview him all through the Twitter DMs to make sure he wasn't some sort of bandwagon guy. He's been a fan since, 6 years old?
Yes, absolutely.
So he's fine. Anyways, so the first one, I just wanted make sure. I think this is why people hate him. But was the birth of hating the Patriots from the Tuck Rule game versus the Raiders in 2002? Because that's what I think it was.
Yeah, and actually, you know what, Carl? If you don't mind, I just wanted to throw my story out there. Like I said, I was 6 years old. They won that first Super Bowl. My grandfather had been a true to Patriots fan. He watched him get smacked by the Bears in '85 and then again by the Packers, several years later. He believed in them. Nobody else believed. So I said, all right, Grandpa, I'm there with you. And they won. It was a cool moment for us, and I've been a fan ever since. Sorry, just wanted to get that out of the way, get a little clarification. But back to the Tuck Rule. Yeah, I believe part of it was there because, again, it was just watching it in real time. You think, oh, man, he coughed it up. But unfortunately, much like catches have become in the last few years in the NFL and being like, yeah, that's a catch. Oh, no, it isn't. It was. It's just the way the rule was written at the time that allowed it to be that way. The funny thing is most people don't know is even that rule earlier in the season hurt the Patriots. They made Vinny Testaverde on the Jets cough it up, got it turned over, and Bill Belichick, being the head coach that he was, had absolutely no sweat worrying about the fact that they were getting the ball back. And I think a lot of people were just upset to see something that should have been so obvious didn't go that way.
It was like he was prepared. What was going through my mind at the time was, wow, this is good football. That's all I cared about. For people to say that was the birth of hating the Patriots, I think they're lying. I think they go back to that moment after everything's said and done and then hate them. Dude, don't hate the Pats for that. Hate the rule. All right, another big reason why people hate the Patriots is they think they bend the rules. All right. Hey, make it clear to the people, Coffee Nation. Do the Patriots bend the rules?
I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there and say yes, but follow it up with the fact that every team bends the rules. It's just a matter of the Patriots are under so much scrutiny because of the success they've had. I mean, they've had, Spygate and Deflategate, but again, the thing with Spygate is nobody realizes what they got in trouble for. The New York Jets got in trouble for the exact same thing the season before. So other teams were doing it. It was just a matter of, again, anti-dynasty. Roger Goodell wanted to hand it to the Patriots and make it seem like a bigger deal than it was. So, again, I think all teams do it. I think most successful teams do it. So that's
Carl, they don't break the rules. They cheat more than Bill Clinton.
What are you talking about? You just saying that to cause a scene?
Erroneous on all counts.
Oh yeah, they got caught. Oh, yep, yeah.
Listen, this is what I wanted. A heated debate.
I mean, it's same thing again with like Deflategate and all that. If you look back on the reports on that, the facts revealed it was mostly just a witch hunt by Goodell trying to get a hold of Brady. That was all.
And the Chargers did the same thing. The next season, and they didn't even get any sort of penalty.
Oh, so now you agree with him?
No, I'm just saying that They absolutely do cheat, but they got caught. And because of the big dog in the block.
No, I get it. Hey, but here's the thing. When you cheat and lose, nobody cares. But when you cheat and win, then people care. Got it? Next one.
Yes, Carl.
But do the Patriots get worshipped by the media? Kraig.
Yeah, again, I can agree with that a little bit to an extent out there, being on the East Coast. I think, it's a big market, that Boston, Massachusetts area, same way, Red Sox, Celtics, the Bruins, all those teams over there in their respective sports get a lot of it, like New York. And I mean, again, when you've been that dominant and on top for so long, any little thing that comes up, people want to point it out and jump all over it. I think the media takes it as an absolute prime example.
So something that I base my hatred or tolerance on is the fan base. How obnoxious are fans? Are they throwing ice balls at your head when you're walking to the stadium? Are they punching you in the stands because you're wearing an opposing jersey? I don't know about Patriots fans. The ones I'm friends with, they're pretty calm people, nice guys. But, I don't have a lot of Patriots fans. Kraig, you seem normal. So do you think people hate the Patriots because their fans are obnoxious?
I again think that goes a little bit into it because, again, right back to the media, how much they're covered. I think all fan bases have those just terrible fans that you just want to tell them, like, dude, please pick another team. Like, you're just making us look bad. But I guess the big thing against the Patriots that makes them really obnoxious, too, is any interview they do with anybody at the stadium, they sound like Adam Sandler's character out of That's My Boy with just the most over-the-top Boston accent. Just sounds terrible, and people just look at him and go, wow, man, I cannot believe these people are lucky enough to have a team that good. And I think that might play into it a little bit.
Tim, is there any team you root for that's had some sort of long-term success? Because the only thing I can think of is the Red Wings.
Yeah, it's probably just the Red Wings.
But, hockey, it doesn't move the needle. I can't imagine being a lifelong fan of a team that has had so much success. I don't know how I'd react. I really can't. As a Lions fan, it gets so tough. So
I mean, as a Red Wings fan, it's like the season didn't start until the playoffs.
Yeah, back in the day, that's how it was.
And now, I don't even want to turn on Fox Sports Detroit.
No, but I get it. And I really don't think Patriots fans are obnoxious, I really don't.
I mean, some are massholes and bandwagoners and drunk on smug, but that's about it.
Yeah, I understand New England fans. They're passionate, It's weird because I hate Red Sox fans, but Patriot fans don't bother me. Maybe that is being ignorant. Maybe they're the same. They probably are.
I think the Patriots are more of a regional team where the Red Sox have more of a South Boston, Southie feel, even though they're in Fenway.
That's fair. All right, guys. So anything else you want to say about Patriots Fans Nation?
No. Again, I guess the only other thing I'd add is they're always the first one to run right to social media and post about, like, one missed call or something like that. And I'm just, please stop. I know, but it happens.
I think they should all go to archaeology because you know what? They keep bringing up the past. I'm sick of seeing 28-3 referenced everywhere.
I get both sides. Like, listen, you're still a football fan. You're still living in the moment. So when a Patriots fan goes on Twitter and they complain about a game or a call, dude, they still have the right to complain about the in-the-moment situation like any other fan. When someone else says, hey, you're a Pats fan, you have 5 Super Bowls, you've been, you've had so much success in the last 15, 16 years, how can you complain about a game or a call? Fan is short for fanatic. They're not thinking about that. Give them a pass. Right, Kraig?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if people just go over the top, they're all in for their sports teams. I totally understand.
So we knocked about half the questions for the main topic, and we're going to go back to the semifinals of 8-1 Top Sports Weekends. Kraig, the expert, has all the top seeds moving on. And Tim, I was very proud of this 8-1 because I felt like every single one had a chance. But here we go, Kraig, picking the top seeds. Semifinals is about to begin, and guess what? Both vetoes are in play. Kraig, you ready?
Let's do this.
The Super Bowl. One game, like you said, 4 hours. Nothing could be paired to it quality-wise. Going against the NFL wildcard weekend. The first 4 games of the playoffs / the college national championship, for football. That's big. That's 5 games. Here we go. What do you got?
I'm ashamed to admit this, but my mindless consumerism gives the nod to the Super Bowl, only the one game, because I also like to watch all of the commercials. There it
is. Yeah, you didn't mention it before. That's cool. You saved it for the semifinals. That's awesome. It's like you know what you're doing. I'm not going to veto, Tim.
No, but I will say I hate the commercials.
Get out of here. You fool.
I do.
Dude,
I do.
How much do you hate Tim right now?
Come on. That's a cold take right there. The commercials are usually pretty good.
If you had to
that take was hotter than your mom.
If you had to rank all the people on this show, me and Tim, you would rank Tim second, right?
I don't know. I think your microphone be second. I'm putting him like third. Or do you have a broom by you or something? Is there anything else I can rank?
I got an empty bottle of Sky vodka. That's probably going in at number 2.
Yeah.
I got a half full bottle of Sky vodka. That's coming in at 1.5. Tim's going in at like 3, 4.
Yeah, he's back there.
So what, are you going to veto this, Tim?
Just ask your mom.
What?
No, I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Mom jokes were cool in 97. Super Bowl moves on. This is the last chance we can veto. The NFL Conference Championships, which begins this weekend. Oh my goodness gracious. Are you worried? Are you worried, Kraig? The Patriots are underdogs. Yes, you heard it right. They're underdogs. The last thing you want to do is motivate Belichick and Brady. Give them anything to get them motivated. Why are you doing this, Vegas? They're going to go against the NCAA basketball opening weekend. This has to be the toughest matchup. What do you got?
Oh, that is a very, very
This
tough
is the 2 versus 3. The 2 versus 3. This is huge.
Honestly, though, I know it's going to seem like I'm counterintuitive here, but I'm giving the nod to the NCAA tourney just because, again, those 4 days, there's so much magic lived out, so many great things going on, and those 2 games are great and all, but I'm going to take the quantity over the quality on this one.
It's 48 games. And hey, what's your team?
In the tournament, well, I mean, I'm a Michigan fan. I went to Western Michigan, so if they ever, God willing, make it back to the big dance, I'll root for them all the way. But that doesn't tend to happen in basketball, so I have to go with the Wolverines here.
Dude, they're good. They're going to be the number 1 team in a couple days or whatever.
Yes, they are.
No, I get it. I went to a school called Liberty. Have you heard of it?
I have, yes. Yeah. Liberty's been in the tournament.
They've been in the tournament 3 times. They're doing pretty well this year, but I'm a Michigan State fan, so we're kind of in the same boat. And I think Tim, he's probably the same. He went to Eastern. But Tim, what's your real team? MSU?
The Princeton Tigers.
Well, are you?
Bold.
Do I joke? I'm great jokes, but do I joke? No.
Your real team is Princeton.
Yeah, absolutely. The Princeton Tigers.
When was the last time they've been in the tournament? 1908? Come on.
No, it was recently.
Are you vetoing, Tim?
No, I'll roll with it. No, I was actually nervous he was going to take the conference championships.
Listen.
And I was like, ugh.
Well, listen, no. I get it. I call it 2 Super Bowls in one day with home crowd. It's almost better than the Super Bowl.
And there's less commercials.
All right, so I put a lot of work in this 8-1, Kraig, okay?
Yeah.
And I thought it's wide open. And guess what you did? You have the 1 and the 2 seed in the finals.
Oh, man.
And no vetoes were used. So it was pretty much pretty boring.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. We'll get back to that later. Let's go back into the main topic. Why do you hate the New England Patriots? Hey, Tim, people hate the Patriots. They hate winners. Someone just announced, I don't know who it was, they said the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are the most hated team in America. I disagree with that. I don't think they're hated as much as the Patriots, as much as the Yankees, as much as Duke. I would put the Warriors probably like 6 or 7, but whatever.
Yeah, they're too new into being hated to. Yeah. No.
So here's
they have to earn their hate.
So we went down to a lot of things. We went to the birth of the hatred, the tuck rule game, the bending rules, the media, and fans. And this is simple, Kraig. The people just hate winners. And I kind of just talked about some of those teams. Yankees, Duke, the Warriors. People hate winners. Is that why people hate the Patriots, Kraig?
I think a lot of that goes into it because I think people, again, they crave something new, something fresh, like a hot new team coming up or something along those lines, and they just get tired of seeing the same things over and over again. I guess one of the things, though, that might separate the Patriots a little bit away from that hate, and it's no fault of their own, is the fact that they play in a division with 3 other teams that just, for the life of me, can never figure anything out. They get a cakewalk to the playoffs pretty much each year. I mean, Christ alive, dude, you just seen the Jets hired Crazy Eyes from Mr. Deeds, man. That dude had a peanut butter and gumball pizza waiting next to him at the press conference.
Wait, did you write that down? Did you write that down? Was that off the top of your head?
I did. Just the pictures. Yeah, man. The pictures of them were bananas.
Remember that? Remember that for throwing a Boston? That just earned him another podcast appearance. Dude, you're pretty witty. That's good.
I'm glad you guys enjoy it, but...
Dude, no, but listen, it's almost equivalent to the AL Central in baseball. It's a joke of a conference, but the only thing difference is you got a powerhouse in there.
Yeah, and they go 5-1 every year in that division because for some reason they go down to Miami each year and forget how to play football. I don't know what that's all about, but I mean they get a free pass in their division. They're playing St. Mary's St. Catholic School of the Blind and Deaf 6 times a year, and they can't figure it out. So I think that might give them a little bit more of the edge as far as the winner aspect and people hating winners. But
no, you nailed it. And the weirdest thing is, this year felt like a off year. You have I can't even name your top receiver. I know you still have Danny E, and you still have Gronk and tight end, but my goodness, you have an off year and you still have a bye. You're still the 2 seed. You're still here. Like, would you consider this year kind of blah, or are you still excited? Like, are you like, this is another year we go to the Super Bowl?
I mean, it's been one of those weird years. I mean, receiving wise, I think Julian Edelman still led the team in receiving yards.
Julian, what did I call him? Michael? God damn it! Edit that out.
You said Danny.
Danny.
Oh
Danny.
yeah, you were Danny Amendola.
That's the wrong guy. Yeah, Julian. Sorry. Okay.
But no, he's I think he's still found a way to lead the team in receiving, and he missed the first 4 games. Honestly, their best receiver on the team is James White. That's just plain facts right there, though. But, it's kind of an time, Brady's 41. He wants to keep doing it, but I know the end is coming sooner rather than later. So I just try to enjoy each game as it comes and goes, and trying to hold on to the last few years of relevancy they probably have for a while.
What if I said this to you and you have 2 responses? You're right or you're wrong. And I said Brady's going to play 3 more years. What are you going to say?
Right now I'm going to say you're right. I don't know if they'll be the best years ever, or because here's how I view it. He can either retire a hero, or I think he plays long enough to see himself become the villain like Peyton Manning did there at the end of his career.
Isn't he 40?
You should have said become long enough to be a Charger. Oh man, that'd have been epic.
No, but listen, he's gonna if he plays till he's like 45, that's just, it's like, are you that bored at home? Like, what is he doing? What does he need to prove?
He'd be bored at home.
He's not. What does he need to prove? He's the best, and we'll talk about him later. All right. Sorry about that. Why did I say Danny? That's embarrassing.
I mean, they're just a breeding ground for white.
Whatever happened to him? Is he gone? Is he out of the game? Or is
he's in Miami.
He signed on with the Miami Dolphins in the offseason.
Brain fart. All right.
And yeah, the AFC East is easier than Candyland.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I can't even. Can't argue with that. It's true.
So we go down to the last two. Why people hate the Patriots, and they're the two obvious ones, Belichick and Brady. So we'll go Belichick first. Do people hate the Patriots, Kraig, because they think Belichick is a bad guy?
I mean, let me just give this for starters. The devil works hard, but Bill Belichick works harder, man. Nobody does their homework more. I mean, that guy finds any weakness he can exploit, any mismatch. I think people just don't like him because of his press conferences and his relations with. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but it went viral right after that Sunday night game they played in Detroit. He's walking out of the tunnel at Ford Field, and like 3 little kids are trying to go for high fives, and he just cold shoulders them all. He don't give a damn.
Were you there?
No, actually, I couldn't. Most of my buddies either had to work early the next morning or were like getting off work as the game kicked off. And I mean, I'm not that much of a loser to go to a football game by myself. Maybe I'm getting close to that status, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, bad guy might be the wrong. I don't know. How would you word it, Tim?
He reminds me of a bear that has a dingleberry problem.
Weird.
He's just constantly grumpy.
Is he though? I don't think he is. I think it's all for show. I think probably like behind the scenes, in front of his players and coaches, he's very delightful. Right, Kraig?
I mean, I don't know. I've read a report that there is only 4 things in this world that can ever make that man smile. That's all I've ever heard about him having an enjoyable conversation.
What are those 4 things?
Lacrosse, Navy. Yeah, lacrosse, Navy, Lawrence Taylor, and Bon Jovi. Those are the only.
Have you seen his girlfriend?
It's unbelievable.
No, Tim, have you seen his girlfriend drop?
But have you?
No, I'm not concerned. All right. Anything else with Belichick, or should we go on to the last question?
I don't know. I think Bill Belichick is and just always will be Bill. I mean, I love his press conference.
What if he never left the Browns? Would they have 5 Super Bowls?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
They would. Would they have 1 Super Bowl, Kraig?
Yeah, again.
I mean,
would the Browns have one? I don't know, man. I think everything was destined to go the way it did until they got the Baker show over there. Now he woke up feeling pretty dangerous, and I believe him.
Yeah,
my Browns went to Baltimore, became the Ravens.
Yeah,
I want to point that out.
I know. I guess that wouldn't be fair then. No, he goes to Cleveland. He's the head coach. Once they move to Baltimore, he says, "I'm quitting coaching until we get a team back here." Then he stays with Cleveland when they get a team, and then he coaches that team. That's what I mean.
The joke is like that's what he was going to do, and clearly that happened.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's just do the last one. And yes, it's Tom Brady. Why do people hate the Patriots? I broke it up into 2 sub-questions. First one, I have to ask. And I'll give my response very quick. And it's a big fat YES. Is Tom Brady the greatest of all time? Yes, of course he is. Of course he is. You can't compare anyone to him. You want to say Joe Montana never lost a Super Bowl? I don't care. Was he in 8 Super Bowls? What's more impressive, going 4-0 or going 5-3 in Super Bowls? Going 5-3. He's the greatest. Tim, do you agree?
Is he the GOAT? I don't see any, Dick Butkus or Kello Winslow Sr. rules, but yeah, he might be the greatest.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure what drugs he took to turn into what he turned into, but man.
Yeah, it's weird because
that combine photo. Whew.
It's kind of funny because we're all from Michigan, and we knew when it was him and Drew Henson going.
No, it was Greasy.
It was Brian Greasy, wasn't it?
The pooch punter.
Wasn't it at one point him and Drew Henson battling for the top spot?
Yeah.
It was. I guess it was both of them. Anyways. At the time, you really didn't think much of him. Like, the last thing you'd ever think of was this guy is going to be the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. But anyways, here we go, Kraig.
The only thing I remember from Brady at Michigan was he ran an option during the Rose Bowl
Yeah,
and he scored a touchdown. Like, I have no idea how he did that.
I was a Drew Henson guy and a Greasy guy because they're bigger names. Bigger names. Anyway, so Kraig, he's the greatest, right? Come on.
Again, I mean, like you've rattled off all the stats, man. 8 Super Bowls now. He's been to 8 straight conference championship games. It's incredible, really. I mean, again, and you got to respect the guy. He was 199th overall drafted, compensatory pick. We all know the story. He moves out to the New England area. He buys a home, didn't even know if he was going to make the roster, walks straight up to Robert Kraft and says, "You just made the best draft decision you will ever make in your lifetime." And, I mean, just starting your career out like that, going out, taking over, winning three Super Bowls in 4 years, and the records. He's got the record for the greatest QBR season ever. That 2007 season, he had a QBR of like 99.4. That's just out of this world. I mean, depending on how you want to take it, everything else, I truly think he is just excellent at what he does.
I had a friend he's one of those Peyton Manning guys. Like, listen, Peyton Manning, he's the better one. Brady's and we'll talk about it soon, product of the system. But I think now he's seen the light. Peyton Manning, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 2-2. And that last Super Bowl he had, that was because of the defense. Even people who are anti-Brady, they're now Brady fans. I'm pretty sure my buddy who is a Peyton Manning guy, how do you defend him now? How? It's impossible. So I just kind of talked about it. Product of a system. One of the things people would say was, well, what happened when Brady went out in 2008? What did Matt Castle do? Sure, they missed the playoffs, but they still won 11-5, right? It's a small sample size, but they still won 11-5. So they have a little bit. They can bring it up. If Matt Castle went 5-11, then there's no conversation. He went 11-5 in the system. Is he a product of the system, Kraig?
Again, that's like you said. Everybody points right to it. I mean, funny enough, Matt Castle leads them to an 11-5 record. They don't make the playoffs. Tom Brady leads them to an 11-5 record this year. They get the 2 seed and a bye rate.
That's funny. That's just funny though. Yeah, same record.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and again, it's all just a product of who you play and what's going on. But again, though, a lot of what I want to give, people always want to point to that, but that 07 and 08 like defenses for the Patriots were, I mean, out of this world. Their linebacking core and other players they had were, they pulled their weight. They double time, like you just mentioned with Peyton Manning in his last Super Bowl, the beneficiary of a great defense. But again, I think it goes with being that good that there will always be people saying that he was a system quarterback. But I mean, I never seen Matt Castle do some of the game-winning drives or things like that Brady's done. And I think Bill Belichick, though, is at the center of it all. I really think in the partnership between Bill and Tom, I just really think Bill is the one that his game planning and everything puts everybody in a position.
You're a top-notch guest. No, you just answered one of my questions. Yeah, who gets the bigger thumbs up there? And you can even put Kraft in there. Kraft, Belichick, Brady, and you're going to give it to Belichick.
I am absolutely going to give it to Belichick because, again, just the way that man can scheme for a week, get things done. He always finds a way to get. I mean, Tom Brady last week, I think he only threw one pass completed one pass that went longer than 15 yards in the air. Still managed to get 343 yards. That's just ridiculous on the efficiency that he did it with, and that's just a testament to getting guys in the right spot and just game planning and exploiting those weaknesses.
Boom.
So,
yep. Are you ready for a gun to the head question that's not on the show sheet?
Let's do this.
Who would you rather have had the Patriots trade last year, Brady or Garoppolo? Oh, we're thinking about it.
And the sad thing is I've at half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. I feel like, well, first off, I feel like they waited too long to trade Garoppolo. I think they could have got a bigger haul had they just committed to trading him earlier. That was kind of the first problem. But, honestly, for what Tom Brady's done and he's still doing, it was better to get rid of the prospect and still keep the proven commodity for now.
All right, so that was why you hate the New England Patriots, the main topic. Guys, I want to apologize for all that background noise. Tim feels the need to get cheese during the middle of the show. Tim will be back in studio next week, right, Tim?
I will be, Carl.
Dude, it's the finals of 8-1. This is the first time. I usually have an idea of who the guest is going to pick or what the guest is going to pick. There's no veto here. It's the Super Bowl versus the NCAA opening weekend. And he talked about it earlier. Quality versus quantity. But now it's come to the extreme. 1 game versus 48 games. And with 48 games, you're going to get, a dozen or so buzzer beaters or last-second shots or whatever. But it's just 1 game with commercials that Tim doesn't even care about.
I don't.
And, I don't want to sway your vote, your pick here, but I picked the Super Bowl like 4th. It's 1 game. It's overhyped. NCAA weekend is my number 1. But I am fair. In these rankings, Super Bowl's the 1 seed, and the NCAA tournament's the 2 seed. So, Kraig, it's your world. I don't care what you pick, man. You've been a great guest. Do what you want. Go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, man. And again, this is really the nitty-gritty of it all because, like you said, man, quality versus quantity, and I love them all. I love all the games on that opening weekend for the tourney and Super Bowl Sunday, but, I mean, unfortunately, Martin's football, I'm picking the Super Bowl. I am.
Can you believe this? Tim, he picked 1 game over 48.
Well, there are 3 or 4 games that I'll probably care mildly about during the weekend of March Madness. But football wins every day, Carl.
All right.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best spouse from, August until the draft.
So Kraig McAllister.
So I might be a little distracted.
Kraig McAllister, our guest, our New England Patriots fanatic. He picked Super Bowl weekend, and that was the 1 seed. So at the end of the day, I'm actually pretty good. My 1 seeds usually win. So,
well, you're always gonna. This is the one time you weren't going to veto a 1 seed.
Maybe I shouldn't make it so obvious what the seeds are.
Yeah.
No, good job, Kraig. Listen, if my team's been to 8 Super Bowls in my lifetime, I'd pick that too. Okay. But as a Lions fan, if you want me to pick the Super Bowl, you have to be kidding.
Yeah, that's a very fair statement.
Oh, it's 1957.
A lot of pressure. I looked at the calendar, Tim, and there's going to be 3 more. I can't believe we're almost done with 4 months. And I said every 4 months we're going to give out a prize. We have 3 more shows before we give out the first Throne of Awesome prize. And Michael Watkins, our guest from last week's In the Throne. Tim, man, it's a lot of pressure. Is Kraig McAllister worthy of the Throne of Awesome? Explain your reasoning.
No, because he's a Patriots fan.
Wow. Are you kidding me? Wow. Kraig, not only do you spell your name weird, you're not in the throne. Are you disappointed?
It's a tough, cold world out here, man. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
We'll have you back some way or the other. Tim, that was cold, but it's your job to give the throne out, and I respect your decision. Kraig, is there anything in the world you want to plug? Anything?
Yeah, again.
What's your Twitter handle?
Oh, Twitter handle, at DeucesWild27. I don't tweet that much, but I share funny memes and videos, so if you're looking to laugh, you can always give that a shot right there. Shout out real quick to 1233 Jack Pine, Western Michigan, all my boys out there. And, yes, thank you again, gentlemen, for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Hey, no problem. Tim hates you. It's sad. It's
That's
obvious,
fair.
though.
Again, people hate winners, man. We've already been over this.
All right.
It's okay, Carl. I understand.
And everybody
Tim, I know
hates
it's not
Tim.
me you hate.
All right, before we finish the show, let's go through the picks. All right, Tim, you go first. Who do you got, Patriots or Chiefs?
Chiefs.
And who do you got, Tim, Saints or Rams?
Ooh, Saints.
All right, Kraig, who do you got, Chiefs or Patriots?
Well, I mean, I can't come on here defending the Patriots and all that this whole time. So, yeah, we're going with New England here on Sunday.
And Saints versus Rams?
Oh, who dat nation, I think, takes care of the Rams and marches straight to Atlanta.
All right, so I've been tweeting out my picks. I'm 8-0. Yes, that is true, 8-0. And I am rolling with Kraig. I got Patriots and Saints. Let's go perfect this whole postseason, you know. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, here we go. Let's finish this off. Kraig, you've been great. Tim, once again, I'll see you in the studio next week. Have a safe drive back to Virginia. I'm Carl Coffey. We'll talk.
Sounds great, Carl.
Whoa.
Sounds great, Carl.
So, for next time, when we talk about probably something that has to do with the Super Bowl, I'll talk to you next time. See ya.